Okay, so I didn't realise this was a national master until I've nearly beaten them, which is probably good because if you see that someone's a national master, it might, make you a bit nervous. But I, I was just having bad chess days anyway. But look, I just thought you're going to come open with this pawn from the rook. I'm going to just open in the middle. And then they do something weird here. Well, I'm just going to open in the middle twice. If you're going to do weird asymmetrical stuff, I'm going to be symmetrical. And I already at this stage decided my bishops are coming to the middle. More pawns, bishop in the middle. More pawns, bishop in the middle. Because this is a very strong structure I'm building here. You're going to come down the flanks? Fine, I'm going to go straight up the middle. Where are you going to castle? Either you're going to castle kingside or you're going to push both flanks and you're going to risk having the king in the middle. I can certainly castle kingside either way. Queen comes to here and I'm getting ready to castle, and I decide I'm going to get my knight onto an unusual square. Instead of going straight up onto the f6 square, we're going to go roundabout routes and we're going to end up on the the g6 square. And still the pawns get pushed. And I do tire of pawn pushers. I do get beaten by pawn pushers. I'm not going to say I don't. But I tire of it because it's unimaginative, boring chess, just pushing the pawns. And in fact, it's usually weak chess. But you have to be of a mind to look for weaknesses in pawn structures, which most of us tend not to do the most. We tend to look for pieces to grab rather than pawns, but actually, weak pawn structure is a fundamental and deep weakness in chess. So now here comes this bishop here. That's their weak bishop, right? Because they got the pawns on the same kind of squares, but presumably they're going to think of moving all the pawns onto the light coloured squares eventually on that side, so as to facilitate their bishop. So they've already telegraphed me that, so that's handy. Out comes my other knight, and they're in a cloning position, which is a position I like. That's the other reason for doing that strange knight to the middle idea, is because you can clone them like this now. They protect each other. And his knight comes to here. Also, is he going to castle queenside? Is he going to do something that odd? I don't know. I decided I'm going to push anyway, because if he takes this pawn, I can recapture with my pawn or my knight. Doesn't matter, but it's fairly even. His queen comes here. Have you seen what he did? He wasn't paying attention to my bishop being in the middle, because light squared bishop would normally be where he just moved his dark squared bishop to. That would be the normal position for it. I rammed my bishops to the middle, and do you see he wasn't even ready for it. He's assumed, he's made assumptions about where my pieces are going to end up. This is laziness. Yes, it can get you to national master level, but getting to any high level through laziness is going to bite you later. And here it is biting him. I'm only a Class A or an expert player. I'm only a 2000 rated player. And look what's happened. This is the end of the game. I don't care if you're a national master. Unless your position is exceptional, you are going to lose to me now. And his position is not exceptional. It's exceptionally bad. Look how undeveloped the pieces are. So I just take that and he recaptures. But this is absolutely appalling now. Look. Where can his king even hide? I'm starting to advance the pieces already, and he's starting to attack. Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring out those attacking pawns. That's going to put your king in even more danger. Takes. Takes. Okay, yeah, he's got something going with his knight and bishop there, but nothing to defend against this, you see. Check. 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 King has to move. Now he cannot castle anywhere. And I've got a free rook as well. And he's so blown away he doesn't even bother taking it. I take that though. And now look at things. Look at how bad it is. Why isn't he just resigning, for heaven's sake? I see now that the best position to move to actually is here, because I've got two possible checking squares diagonally. But I didn't. I moved my bishop back because I didn't want his knight to take it. And now he covers that checking square there. So out I come here, and it's going to be checked with a knight instead on the c3 square. His knight comes here. Don't know if it's worth doing check with the knight. I need to bring out the queen somehow, so she comes to here, attacking his knight. His knight flees, attacking at the same time, and I just go here. He can take the bishop if he wants, that's fine. King runs a little way.
Check.
And there's a check. And it's over. It is over. Now comes the knight. In effect, he's effectively back ranked. If I can check him with my bishop, he will have to move away from protecting that bishop of his.
Check.
So he grabs my bishop, which is, I suppose it is a good move. But then I've still got other goodies, like
check.
Rooks. The rooks are goodies as well. And at this stage, he just makes some sort of jibe at me. Doesn't bother moving again. Can't be resigning. I mean, some people have too much pride to resign. That's their own folly. He should have moved. Well, he could have blocked. No, he can't block the check because of my knight, my queen. No, so he could have moved to here, which I was right the first time, and then simply it's checkmate here.
Checkmate.
And in fact, no, it's not checkmate with the rook. It's not checkmate with the rook. I was just wondering how many other checkmates I had.
Check.
Now it's checkmate with the rook.
Checkmate.
Could have been rude like that. But the point is,
check.
This is a national master, highly rated player, and they made assumptions about where my bishops had gone. They did not expect my bishops to go in the middle like that, and that is the reason that this happened. And then this happened. And then
check.
This happened. I won. So, what's the lesson to take from today's lesson? I'm teaching you to not be afraid to put your pieces in unusual places, but make sure that you've designed and trained yourself for those places. I didn't just stick those bishops in the middle for fun. I've done that many times. I'm not taking risks with doing that. I'm going into a position I know fairly well, and they may not know fairly well, because it's not a normal position. So learn these slightly normal positions. I mean, don't copy mine, make your own ones up. I've got my own system of defense, which I tend to refer to as the fortress. Even that has gone now. I don't even play the fortress very much now, but you'll find it in my videos, so do look it up if you're interested to know what the fortress is. What the fortress was designed for was when you get very aggressive players. It is a sort of impenetrable fortress that has really, really good structure. And it did see me through really well. But you know, I like a lot of chess players, I like to change, I like to experience new things, so the fortress is a modified fortress system now. So if you enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe to the most relaxing channel of chess on YouTube, Chess Voices, and we will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.